This week in the Episcopal Church, we celebrate the life of Alfred the Great. Alfred the Great was the only king of England to be described as the Great, and many people say due to his courage and devotion to Christian values. He was born in 849 and was the youngest of 5 sons of King Ethelwulf. And he lived in a time of deep violence and political uncertainty during Viking invasions and Viking settlements. He was deeply impressed also at the age of 4 during a visit to Rome when he was personally blessed by Pope Leo IV. After his father died and the short reigns of his elder brothers, he became king in 871. And with a keen tactical and strategic military mind and decisive battles and victories against the Danes, King Alfred was able to halt the advance of the Vikings. And he saved parts of southern England and parts of the Midlands for the English people. Now, there was a particular decisive victory in 878 in Edington against the Danes, led by a man called Guthrum. And after the battle, miraculously maybe, the King Alfred was able to convince Guthrum to become baptized after the Battle of Edington. Now, Alfred died in 899. He's buried in Winchester Cathedral. And during his reign, he was also known for his encouragement of culture and learning, particularly among the clergy. And he was also responsible for the translation of a number of key early biblical texts into English by people such as Pope Gregory the Great, Augustine of Hippo, and the Venerable Bede. As regards the relevance of King Alfred today and during this time, I thought a little bit about that decisive battle in Edington against Guthrum, a very violent affair, and I have a quote here from an eyewitness. Fighting ferociously, forming a dense shield wall against the whole army of the pagans and striving long and bravely, at last Alfred gained the victory. He overthrew the pagans with great slaughter, and smiting the fugitives, he pursued them as far as the fortress. It could almost be a battle description from a part of the Hebrew Bible. Now, I know the village of Edington, and it's a beautiful, serene, English, typical, archetypal English village. Just stunning and tranquil and bucolic. And it reminded me, reflecting on that at times our lives can seem like a battle. We live in a time of disquiet, and we may feel that we are forced at times to take an opposing side or choose a side in a contemporary battle of ideas. And the question is, how do we find our peace? How do we, if you like, move from the battleground to the bucolic village of Edington? Well, that peace can come and does come from God, and it's almost exemplified by the baptism of Guthrum after the battle. Because in our faith, a faith that has lasted and been distilled and expanded and evolved and survived so many challenges over 2,000 years, within the wisdom of our Christian tradition and Christian faith, we can find that peace and rise above the contemporary fray and rise above contemporary troubles and tribulations. And there we can find some solace, some peace through prayer, through contemplation, through meditation, through our Christian faith and our Christian traditions, and find Christian virtue among the unsettled times, the battleground that we seem to be going through at this time. So we can find there, with God, firmer foundations, a solid rock, and a fortress for all comers. Amen.